Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnanam Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समावेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to today's Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita session. Today is April 13th, 2026. And we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8. Lord Krishna shows the universal form to his mother. And in that we are reading, we completed the name-giving ceremony by Garga Muni. Then we also completed the crawling pastimes of Krishna. And now yesterday we started Krishna's pastimes of stealing pastimes of Krishna, stealing butter, yogurt, milk, like that. So we saw that when Krishna was crawling, so when his name-giving ceremony was done, he was 100 days old. And soon after that, he started crawling. And soon after that, now we are seeing that he did not move around with the help of his knees anymore. Rather, he means both actually. Rāma Kṛṣṇa is said. That means both Balarāma and Kṛṣṇa. Rāma Kṛṣṇa. So they started walking only with their feet, not using their knees. They were not dragging their knees anymore. They were directly walking on their feet. And not just walking, but they were even running. Añjasā is said. Añjasā means very easily they were walking, not that with great difficulty, holding on to things slowly. Initially, that's how they walked, but eventually they started walking very easily. That means they were even running like that. And when it is said in a short time, we should understand short time means much quicker than children in general. When do babies start walking? About 1 year, right? Sometimes earlier too, but give or take close to 1 year, they start walking. But Krishna Balarāma, they started walking much before that. That's why it is said in a very short time. Alpakalena. They started walking and moving, walking, not just, that means now they're walking, they're even running. So this is the time when they started walking, that they started going to the homes of other gopis. And the stealing pastimes also started at this age. So at this age, when they started walking, what happened? Tatas tu bhagavān Kṛṣṇo vayasyair vraja-bālakaiḥ. I just share the screen with you, so you'll see the shloka. So this is what we had discussed yesterday. Kālenālpena rājarṣe Rāmaḥ kṛṣṇasya gokule aghṛṣṭa. Gṛṣṭa means dragging. Aghṛṣṭa means not dragging anymore. Jānubhiḥ means knees. Without dragging their knees anymore, they were just padbhir vicakramatur. That means simply using their feet, they were moving around, walking. And añjasā, very easily they were walking. Then tatas tu bhagavān Kṛṣṇo vayasyair vraja-bālakaiḥ saha-rāmo vraja-strīṇāṁ cikrīḍe janayan mudam. So then, thereafter, Bhagavān Kṛṣṇa. Why Bhagavān is said here specifically? Sukadeva Goswami is speaking. He is saying Bhagavān Kṛṣṇa. So, Bhagavān means one who, so Bhaga means the six opulences. Aishwaryasya samagrascha, viryascha yashasa shriya. Then jnanam vairagyam. So samagra is said. So samagra means all. And that is not just for one, not just Aishwarya, all Aishwarya. That samagra should be applied to each one of the six opulences. That means all Aishwarya, all, what do you say, virya, right? That means power. And yashaha, all fame. So that means samagra, yashaha. Then shriya means beauty, all beauty. Then jnanam, all knowledge. And vairagyam, all renunciation. So when all these six come together, each one is complete, like all opulence. Like this, when all these six come together, that is called bhaga. And the person who has this bhaga is called bhagavān. The way you have bhagyavan. Bhagyavan means one who is fortunate. Dhanavan, one who has dhana, one who has wealth. Like that, bhagavan means one who has bhaga. And what is bhaga? Bhaga means a combination of all these six opulences in full. So here we are talking about Bhagavan, specifically talking about Krishna's beauty. He is extremely beautiful. That is why Bhagavan is said. Krishna, who is extremely beautiful, he is performing cikrīḍe. He is performing his pastimes. With who? Vayasyair vraja-bālakaiḥ. Vayasyair means of the same age. He is performing Krishna, who is the most beautiful, most attractive, most beautiful. He is performing pastimes with boys of his age. Boys, vraja-bālakaiḥ. So boys living in Vraja of his age. and also saha-rāmo along with Balarāma. One thing to note here is Krishna is performing pastimes along with Balarāma. That means with the help of Balarāma, means Krishna is the main player in these pastimes. Which pastimes are we talking about here? These are the pastimes of Krishna stealing butter, yogurt, like that. So in these pastimes, who is the main predominant, who is the prominent leader? Krishna is. And then Balaram ji is just supporting. But mainly these pastimes are Krishna's. He is the leader. Along with other boys. Vayasyair, vraja-bālakaiḥ, saha-rāmo, vraja. But what is he doing by these stealing pastimes? Vraja-strīṇāṁ, janayan mudam. He is producing transcendental bliss in the gopis, vraja-strīṇāṁ. This is a very important point. Now, when Krishna performed, like he went and stole butter in different gopis' homes, the gopis would come, in the coming verses we'll see, they would come and lodge complaints to Yashoda Mai. One should not think that they are complaining to Yashoda Mai out of frustration or because they were, they were angry or they were unhappy in any way. Not at all. Janayan mudam. That means there was not one gopi who was not extremely blissful that Krishna came and stole butter in her house, came and ate something by stealing in her house. This was their heart's desire that Krishna should come and steal. So when Krishna performed these pastimes in Vraja, the stealing pastimes, specifically here we are talking about the stealing pastimes, these pastimes simply produced great joy in the Vrajastri or the gopis, the cowherd ladies of Vrindavan. Not one of them was actually unhappy that Krishna is stealing. Nobody was unhappy. That point must be remembered. Tatas bhagavān Kṛṣṇo vayasyair vraja-bālakaiḥ saha-rāmo vraja-strīṇāṁ cikrīḍe janayan mudam. So Krishna is performing these pastimes, these wonderful pastimes. The details we will see soon, what all he did. But he is performing these pastimes, producing or awakening transcendental bliss in the cowherd women. Then what would the gopis do? kṛṣṇasya gopyo ruciraṁ vikṣya kaumāra-cāpalam śriṇvantya kila tan-mātur iti hochu samagataha. So these gopis would they would go to Yashoda Mai to lodge complaints. They would kṛṣṇasya gopyo ruciraṁ. Here this word kṛṣṇasya means, of course, of Krishna's. But these gopis had so much attraction for Krishna. Each and the object of their chitta, of their heart, of their mind, was only Krishna. That means Krishna was they were so attracted to Krishna that whatever they spoke, they would speak about Krishna. They would relish it so much. And their minds would be absorbed in Krishna all the time. Kṛṣṇasya. So, gopyo. So these gopis who were so enchanted by Krishna's activities, after seeing kaumāra-cāpalam. So Chapalam means chapal, right? Chapal means chanchal, the restless. Kaumāra means childhood activities of Krishna, childhood pastimes of Krishna, the restless childhood pastimes of Krishna, the mischievous pastimes of Krishna. And which were ruciraṁ. They were very, very pleasing, very attractive. Such pastimes, after seeing them, viksha, so these gopis would witness, they would see Krishna stealing. Now, because they were so attracted by Krishna, and the object of their speech was also Krishna, now to relish it again even more, they would go and speak about his activities to Yashoda. All of them would come and assemble. Samāgataha. Together they will all come and they would assemble in Yashoda house. And they would start talking about Krishna's mischievous activities as if they are, reprimanding Yashoda that, your son has done this and he's done that, and, he's, as if they're complaining about all, he just comes to our house and he does this and he does that. They're coming and telling Yashoda about her son's mischievous activities. What all he did. He did this and then this happened and then that happened and we did this, like that, in the form of complaint. And what is Yashoda doing? What is her response to that? Shrinvantyaha kila tan-mātur. Tan-mātur means Krishna's mother. Shrinvantyaha kila. That means she would be all ears to hear about the activities of her son. She would get great pleasure to hear about, even though there were mischievous activities, even though he was stealing and, other things that he was doing, she would just hear. And how would she hear? She would give up all other activities at home. Like, there was no particular time. It's not that the gopis would come at a certain time, when everyone is free, and then no, not like that. Maybe as soon as that activity, that pastime happened, they would all immediately come to Yashoda. So there's no particular time. And when they would come, Krishna would be standing right there with Yashoda. And they would come and they would tell Yashoda, he did this, he did that. And she would drop all her duties, whatever work she's doing, she would just drop everything and just sit and hear about Krishna's activities with great pleasure. So these gopis also knew that Yashoda really, whatever they were telling Yashoda was really pleasing her. So they would come and they would tell her, but in the tone of a complaint. But they knew this is actually pleasing Yashoda. And she would just stop all her work and she would sit and listen to all the activities of Krishna that day, whatever they said. So here, His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj tells, there's a lesson to be learned here. For the gopis and for Yashoda, this is not a sadhana. So you see, in bhakti, you have sadhana bhakti, then you have bhava bhakti, prema bhakti, shuddha bhakti. So for Yashodamai and gopis, they were right there in front of Krishna, performing pastimes with Krishna. When will you get to see Krishna? Only one who is in prema, and there also when Krishna reveals himself, then one is, that means you have to be at least in prema for you to actually see Krishna face to face and participate in his pastimes. So these are all premi devotees. So for them, the sadhana means practice. Sadhana is practice. But for them, it's not a sadhana to come and sit and talk about Krishna. It's not a practice that they have to do every day. Like we have practice, right? Sit and chant Hare Krishna and do deity worship and attend Mangalarti and this and that. We have sadhana. This is our practice. For them, it is not sadhana. They are actually tasting the rasa there. But still, from their behavior, there is a lesson to be learned by us, sadhakas. There is a lesson that we should learn. That when it comes to devotional service, specifically here we are talking about Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. The gopis would come and they would chant Krishna's activities, and Yashodamai was hearing. Shravanam and Kirtanam. When it comes to that, you should just drop all other things that you're doing. Just drop everything. Whether it is your work, whether it is, I'm just repeating what Maharaj said. So he said, and actually this is the principle, actually. When we say, Jnana karmadhyanavritam means what? If you want to do pure devotional service, that means it's not mixed with any type of karma or any type of jnana or anything. Purely, simply you're doing Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing Krishna's pastimes, speaking Krishna's glories. In that also there is actually how we should hear and chant is also said by Narad Muni to Vyasdev in that verse 1:5:11. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abadhavadyapi. There it is said, Shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. That means a devotee will hear, he will speak, and he will sing to himself. When there is such literature, specifically we are talking about Srimad Bhagavatam here, the literature which is glorifying the Supreme Lord, even if it has so many literary faults, imperfections, as far as language and sentence formation or whatever, grammatical mistakes. But if it is filled with the glories of Hari, then the sincere devotees will, with great eagerness, they will hear, not once, but again and again they will hear. And they will speak. That means they will speak for others to hear. And they will also sing to themselves. So here we hear about what should be the sequence. If there is somebody more qualified than myself to speak, I should not be enthusiastic to speak there. I should hear. When there is someone more qualified than me who is speaking on the glories of Hari, who can speak on the glories of Hari, I should hear from that person. I should not be eager to speak. But if there is nobody to speak, that means there's nobody more advanced than you who can speak. And everyone else is, subordinate, less than you. So nobody else can speak there, basically. No one else can speak. Then what should you do? You should speak. You should speak for others to hear. If there is someone who can speak there, who is more qualified than you to speak, you should hear from that person. And if there is nobody there to speak and there's some people sitting there and nobody can speak, then you should speak. You should speak for them to hear. Now, if there is no one to speak and no one to hear, then what? Sometimes there is nobody to speak and nobody to hear. You're there alone. Then you sing to yourself. This is the order. If there's someone who's there to speak, then you listen. There's nobody to speak, but there is people who want to hear, then you speak. If there is no speaker and no listeners, you sing to yourself. This is the standard for Srimad Bhagavatam. That means it shouldn't stop. It shouldn't stop. If nobody is there, you sing to yourself. So this is about Bhagavatam. So why I said this is about hearing. Just see the mood of Yashodamai and the gopis. Yashodamai would just drop everything and just sit and hear. So Maharaj says that should be our sadhana. For them it is not sadhana. They are just relishing. But we should actually practice like that. When it comes to hearing about Krishna's glories, speaking anyway, you have to drop everything and speak. You cannot avoid that. Mainly it is for hearing. When we are hearing, Maharaj says just drop everything and just hear Krishna's glories. That should be our sadhana. That is the lesson we should learn. This Shrinvantyaha Kila is actually hinting to that lesson for sadhakas. So, kṛṣṇasya gopyo ruciraṁ bhiksha kaumāra-cāpalam shrinvantyah kila tan-mātur iti hochuv samāgataha. So they would all come and speak to Yashodamai, whatever pastimes Krishna performed that day of stealing, they would come. And would Yashodamai become angry with Krishna after hearing their complaints about all the things that he did? We will see what all he did in the next verse. But would she become angry? No. Yashodamai would never become angry with Krishna or chastise him or, scold him. No, she would never do that. Because she would think, first of all, she would be very happy to hear about her son's activities. But also, she would not punish Krishna. She would never ever punish Krishna, like beat him or anything. No, never. In fact, Maharaj said she never got angry with Krishna. It's a different thing. Sometimes externally you show some anger. But about Yashodamai, Maharaj said she never got angry. She wouldn't get angry. She wouldn't punish him. After hearing the complaints and all, she would not. So now they're coming to Yashodamai and they're speaking. Here, next verse. We'll begin the next verse. So we covered these three verses yesterday, first three verses. Text 26, 27, and 28 we covered yesterday. Today we'll start with text 29. Vatsan munchan kvachidasamaye krosha sanjata hasaha steyam swadvatyata dadhipayah kalpitaisteya yogai margan bhokshan vibhajati sa chennati bhandam bhinnati dravyalabhe sagrihak kupito yatyupakroshyato. I'll read it again. Vatsan munchan kvachidasamaye krosha sanjata hasaha steyam swadvatyath dadhipaya kalpitaisteya yogai margan bhokshan vibhajati sachennati bhandam bhinatti dravyalabhe sagriha kupito yatyupakroshyato. So this is what the gopis are saying to Yashoda Mai. They're saying, so Yashoda Mai is the queen. She is Nanda Maharaj's wife. She's the queen. So the gopis are saying, my dear queen, your son is so restless. He's so mischievous. You know what he does? Vatsan munchan. Munchan means unties or leaves, like releases. Vatsa means calves. He unties calves, kvachid, sometimes. When does he do that? Asamaye. When it is not time to untie them. So there is a time when the cows are milked. And at that time, when the cows are being milked, I think the calves are tied up. So, and then the other times the calves are allowed to go. So milking times are in the morning and evening. In the morning and in the evening, cows are milked. There's a certain time. When they come back from the pastures, that's when the cows are milked. So I think it is at that time, during milking time only, I think the calves are allowed to go to the cows. Because there are two opinions. They say nowadays, they say that the calves should not be allowed to drink the cow's milk because the calf will drink too much and it will get diarrhea. So therefore, they don't allow the calves to drink the milk. They tie the calves. But then there's another side that says that no, the cow's milk is meant for the calf, and the calf produces Rasapriya, and the calf produces more milk. That means more than what the cow produces more milk than what the calf can drink. That means the cow is producing milk for the calf and also for us, for the humans. So the calf will also drink. And when the cow feeds the calf, the mother is so satisfied and she produces so much milk for us also. That is also said. So, but there is a certain time when they do it. You also know, mothers who breastfeed your babies. It's not that continuously the baby is feeding. You have to give in between, some gap for the milk to be formed, and then the baby will drink. And again, there's some gap, and again, the baby will drink. Like that, isn't it? There's some time. It's not that continuously the baby is drinking. So anyway, here the point is there is a time when the calves are untied. But what does Krishna do? He will come and untie the calves at a time at a time when they're not supposed to be untied. Asamayam. Vatsan munchan kvachit asamaye. Asamaye means the time when they're not supposed to be untied. What will happen if you untie them at that time? They will just go and drink all the cow's milk. They'll just go and drink all the cow's milk. So the gopis are saying, your son is so mischievous. First of all, they do it in a planned way. What did we read in the previous verse? Krishna and he performed these pastimes with other boys his age. Vraja-bālakaiḥ, cowherd boys of his age. And saha-rāmo, that means with the help of Balarāma. But Krishna is doing these pastimes with other boys. So they would do it in a planned way. What is the plan? They will go, their idea is to go and steal butter and yogurt. But to do that, they would first go and untie the calves. When the calves are untied, let's say like 10 or 20 calves, they just untie. They just start running. Now the gopis, the people in the house, gopis and their children, when they see that the calves are let loose, now all their attention would be to go and get the calves. They're running and, they'll go and drink all the cow's milk. So everyone, all their attention is after the calves to go and bring them back. So while everyone is gone outside to bring the calves back, the Krishna and his friends will enter the house and take the butter. That is their plan. So, vatsan munchan kvachid asamaye. So, in this regard, actually, there's one thing that some people, ignorant people, they criticize Krishna that stealing is not a good activity. And that too, stealing food items. This is not at all good. Why Krishna is stealing? This is bad. Then, if it is countered saying that, no, but he's bhagavān. Bhagavān means he can do anything. He's untouched by any sin. Those who are controllers are extremely powerful. Even if they did these activities, they are not touched by that sin in any way. Example is given like the sun. If anybody came in touch, right, with stool, let's say water which is contaminated with stool and urine, if you happen to drink, you'll fall sick. You'll fall sick. But when the sun comes in contact with stool and urine, what happens? Does the sun become sick? No. Rather, he purifies the whole place. That stool and urine and everything becomes dried up and it is all, the place becomes purified because of the sun. Sun doesn't get contaminated, rather the contamination becomes removed. This is the position of Ishvara, controllers. So Krishna is the supreme Ishvara. He is Bhagavan, supreme Lord. So even if he stole, what is the problem? By his stealing, there isn't any sin that's coming to him. Then these people will say, because he is Bhagavan, he should not do it all the more. Because what type of example he's setting to the world? He's stealing, and seeing him, other people also will steal, saying that he stole. Like this, people complain. But we see that Krishna has many, many avatars. Yes, many forms. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Vamana, Narasimha. Many avatars, Lord Ramchandra. You don't see in any of these forms the Lord is stealing. It is only Krishna who steals. Other avatars, you don't see this stealing pastime. Actually, his stealing is not stealing. The way we know stealing is a crime, simply the word stealing is used. The word stealing is used, but actually it is not stealing. First of all, everything belongs to him. Aham sarvasya prabhava mattah sarvam pravartate. Abhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram, suhridam sarva bhutanam. So he is the proprietor of everything. Everything is coming from him. It is all his energy, whatever there is, either it is his internal energy, marginal energy, or external energy. If he is taking his own thing, how does he become a thief? How does it become stealing if he's taking his own thing? One point. But the other point is, in this stealing butter, the person who made that butter wants Krishna to come and take it. In fact, that gopi makes that butter hoping that Krishna will come. She's making that butter only for Krishna. And she wants him to come, and that's why he's coming and he's eating that butter. Then how can you call it stealing? Stealing would be, first of all, if you take someone else's property, which does not belong to you, and you take it without their permission, then it is stealing. First of all, it is his only. And then even if we say it belongs to the gopis, he's taking it because she wants him to take. So therefore, this is not actually stealing, right? If the gopis who are owning that butter, if they are giving that butter to him, they want that butter to be eaten by him, how can you call it stealing? There is not one gopi in the entire vraja, and there is not one pot of butter or yogurt which she did not want Krishna to eat. That means every pot of butter there is, the gopi who made it, her heart's desire is that Krishna should come and eat this butter. So in this regard, Maharaj narrates the history of how this stealing pastime even began. How did it even start in the first place? How this pastime of stealing butter began. So there is a song, or there's a poetry written by Surdas. Surdas is a devotee of Lord Krishna, blind. So this is Surdas ji's poetry about how Krishna started stealing butter. How this whole stealing pastime started. Of course, these are Krishna's eternal pastimes. But in eternal pastimes also, within the pastime, there is a story of how, there's a pastime of how it started. So one day, Lord Krishna was talking to Mother Yashoda. And one gopi happened to come there. And she heard the conversation between Krishna, baby Krishna, and his and Mother Yashoda. So Krishna is saying that he's saying, Mayari mohi makhan bhave. My dear mother, I like butter. Butter मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है. Sounds better in Hindi. So Krishna is saying, oh, butter, it feels so good to me. I like butter so much. जो मेवा पकवान कहती तू वो मोहे रुचि नावे. You talk about, the preparations, cooked preparations, right? And meva, the things that you talk about, I don't like them so much. All the things which you say are very nice. I don't like those. But butter मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है. माखन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है. Krishna is saying this to Yashoda Mai, and this gopi heard Krishna say this. Oh, Krishna likes butter so much. He likes to eat butter. So then when she heard this, in her heart, she got this desire that I wish Krishna would come to my house and he would eat butter in my house. I would make butter for Krishna and I wish he would come and he would eat in my house. She had this desire. And then she started thinking, but why would he come to my house? He is the son of such a wealthy king, Nanda Maharaj's son. He has so much butter in his house. Why will he come to a poor person's house to eat butter? So this is Dainyatmika Bhakti. Dainyatmika means feeling oneself very unqualified. And Krishna heard her prayer, but also not only did he hear her prayer, also Surdas ji says that he is there as Antaryami, Paramatma in the heart, so he knows what all is going on. And Krishna is always hungry for love of his devotees. So he decided he will go to this gopi's house and he will eat her butter. Because she wanted Krishna, she heard him say that he likes butter, he likes to eat butter more than anything else. Then she decided, she got this desire that Krishna should come to her house and eat the butter that she made. So she made fresh butter at home, and Krishna wanted to fulfill her desire. So this stealing that Krishna does is simply to fulfill the heart's desire of the gopis. That's why he steals butter. He steals butter to reciprocate with the love of the devotee. So this gopi made fresh butter and then she hung it on a pot, but she didn't keep it too high. She wanted Krishna to reach it. So she kept it at a low height. And Krishna came, looking around. He came alone. He didn't come with his friends or anything. This is the very first time. So he came looking and he saw in the gopi's house. He turned around and saw nobody was there. He entered the house and he saw the pot. It was hanging. It was not too high. So somehow he got the pot. And after taking the pot also, again, he's looking around. Then, while he was taking the pot, next to him was Mani Stamba. Mani Stamba means a pillar which is made of money, like a jeweled pillar. Jeweled pillar is even more reflective than a mirror. It is so shiny, you see the reflection very clearly, even more than a mirror, like a glass mirror. It is even more than a glass mirror. So Krishna had this pot, and while he was going out with the pot, next to him was this jeweled pillar, and he happened to see his own reflection, and he just froze. He got scared. He thought it was another boy who saw him stealing. And he got worried now. He's caught. Somebody saw him stealing. So he thought, I will make friends with this boy. So he started speaking. Oh, by the way, when Krishna came to steal this butter, the gopi who made the butter was sitting right inside the house. She was watching the whole thing. She made the pot, she hung it there, and she was hiding and she was watching the whole thing. And when Krishna looked around, he went outside and to see if somebody is there or not. And he saw nobody's there, and now he's inside. But the gopi was right there watching the whole thing, hiding. So Krishna sees this, his own reflection, but he's thinking this is another boy. So he thought, I'll be in trouble. I should make friends with this boy. So he says, Are yaar, like, Are mitra, my friend, please don't tell my mother about this. This is the first time I'm stealing. I've never stolen before. Don't tell anyone about this. You know, if you tell others, then my name will be spoiled. Everyone will say that I'm a thief and my reputation will be spoiled. Then I will not be able to get married. Nobody will give me the daughter if my reputation is spoiled. Please don't tell anyone. But it was Krishna's reflection. So the reflection won't speak. But he was seeing whatever gestures he's making, he was seeing from the other side also some gestures were being made, some lip movements were happening. Actually, it was his reflection only, but Krishna's thinking that from the other side some reciprocation is happening. So then Krishna said, if you want, I will give you half of this butter. But don't tell anyone. And then he took some butter from the pot and began to feed that reflection. So he took butter in his hand and put it in the mouth of the reflection. So what will happen? It fell down on the floor. So Krishna saw, oh, he's not eating. So he said, what? You want all of it or what? Because he's not eating, so he wants all of it. Then he said, okay, I'll give you everything. Take it all. And then he's making gesture like that. But please don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. So when he's saying that, from the reflection also he's seeing, the reflection is doing like this. That means he's not agreeing to the proposal. Krishna is saying, don't tell anyone. You take it all, but don't tell anyone. And from the other side also, he's seeing this. So he said, when Maharaj is words, he says, Sale, तुमको जो करना है करो. I'm asking you so much, I'm begging you, and you don't agree. Go, you do whatever you want. When he said this, the gopi who was hiding and watching the whole thing, she could not control her. All this while she was holding her, laughter. But at that point, when Krishna got angry on that boy who was his own reflection, she just couldn't contain herself. She just started laughing loudly from her hiding place. And Krishna realized that somebody was there and he started running, but she went and caught him by the arm. Now he was actually caught. He started making so many excuses. He said, my house and your house looks the same. That means from the outside, same type of construction. So yeah, okay, your house and my house looks the same. So I got confused, I thought I was going to my house. I thought this is my house and I came inside. I didn't know it was your house. Please let me go. Please don't tell my brother. He's more afraid of Balarāma than he's of his mother. So he's telling the gopi, please don't tell Balarāma. Because if he comes to know about this, I will lose all respect in his eyes. Don't tell him. So then she said, okay, then as a punishment, you have to eat all this butter in front of my eyes. That's your punishment. So he's okay. And he ate some and he said, I can't eat it all. It's too much. She said, Jhuta kar diya, kaun khayega? You ate. Who will eat your remnants now? You have to finish it. So he just sat there and ate the whole thing. And then after he ate the whole thing, she let him go. But after that, what was her condition, She was, we hear in Chaitanya Leela also, there's one devotee, Vijaya Das. Once he saw Mahaprabhu, after they had a meal, there was another pastime. After that, all the devotees just slept afternoon after taking lunch. So at that time, everyone was sleeping, and this Vijay Das, he saw Mahaprabhu's hand all of a sudden going like this. It just stretched, like it was like, it just kept growing and growing and growing, and his jeweled hand. And when he saw that, he was awestruck and he was just about to scream, and that hand just covered his mouth. After seeing that, he just went, to everyone else, he looked like a crazy person. Meaning, he wouldn't talk to anyone for the next 1 week. He was just lost. He was not talking to anyone. He was in his own world. So that was the effect this gopi also had after this past. She was in such ecstasy, but she didn't tell anyone what happened, why she was in such ecstasy. Everybody could see something has happened. They didn't know what happened. After some time, she revealed. She told the gopis how Krishna, Shyam Sundar, had come to her house to steal butter, and she caught him, and all the things that happened, how he was talking to the reflection and everything. And finally, how he ate the butter. And that's why she's in such ecstasy. When all the gopis heard this, now they all got this desire if Krishna can come to my house and if he can eat butter. This word spread like wildfire in all of Vrindavan, that Krishna, goes to Gopi's house and he steals butter. The proof is this Gopi, because she revealed that he came and he ate. So everybody wanted now Krishna to come and eat butter in their house. And Krishna, who is hungry for the love of the Brajbasis, he would go to the homes of all these gopis. That's how it started with that first gopi. Now he would go to all the homes, all the gopis' homes, to steal butter and taste their love. Here one may get a question. Why would he steal? Couldn't he just go and ask them for butter, and when they served, he could just eat that butter? Why did he steal butter? Do you know why Krishna steals butter? Okay, no need of speculations, but the reason is, this is the language of love. The language of love is not straightforward. It is indirect. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Parokṣavādam mamacha priyaha. Parokṣavāda means indirect speech. It's very dear to Krishna. If you say something directly, उसमें उतना मजा नहीं आता है. But if you say it indirectly, there's more, it's tastier. So the dealings of love are indirect. Srila Rupa Goswami also says this. Dealings of love are like the movements of a serpent. You see the serpent, it never goes straight, right? It's going like this and it is slanting. When you see how the serpent moves, it goes in a slanting way. It doesn't go straight. Similarly, love dealings are also like that. They're not straightforward. So that's why Krishna likes to steal. And when he steals and he eats, that's very tasty. But sometimes the gopis would say, they would offer him, some milk or some butter to eat. And Krishna wouldn't take it. He would say that, why should I eat your butter? Why should I eat others' food? I'm the king's son. You think I'm a beggar or what? That I don't have and you're giving me and I should eat? He would not take. When they would offer him butter, he wouldn't take it. But the same food which they were offering, he will steal and he will eat. But if they offered it directly, he won't take it. So, yeah. Maybe we should do Bhagavad Gita. I didn't even start. Well, I just started this verse. And there is... Okay, I'll just finish it. I think we can do the verse. This one verse we can cover today. There's one more point. One devotee, Harishoriji, he says that even when people give you, what do you say? You may get so much in gifts or in charity. You may get a lot of wealth. But usme wo maza nahi aata hai. It doesn't taste so sweet. But when you earn something by your hard work, that tastes very delicious. Whatever you earn and what you have earned with that when you eat, that gives you great satisfaction. You feel very good about it. But when you eat something which is given by others, either in charity or as gift, it doesn't taste so good. So Krishna he didn't want to just take, something which is given by others. He wanted to earn it himself. Never mind, even if that earning is by stealing, but he would earn his, butter, which he would eat, and then he would relish it. So if somebody gave it, he wouldn't take, but he would steal that and then he would eat. So we'll see in this verse what all Krishna does. Or should we do it tomorrow? Maybe we should do it tomorrow. It'll take some time. We just started this. We can discuss this, and this will continue with the next one also. Yeah, we'll stop Srimad Bhagavatam here. We'll continue tomorrow, and I will read Bhagavad Gita now. Today is the last verse of the 13th chapter. We'll conclude the 13th chapter today. So this was yesterday's verse. Yatha prakashayati ekaha kṛṣṇam lokam imam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha kṛṣṇam prakashayati bharata. So what we saw in 33 was the way the sky is all pervading, yet not mixing with anything. In the same way, the living entity is in this body, but it does not mix with the body. That was said in the 33rd verse. And in the 34th verse, we saw the way the sun illuminates this whole universe with its effulgence. So there's this verse, 34th verse, is applicable to both the Jivatma and Paramatma. Okay. So in terms of Jivatma, the way the sun illuminates this whole universe with its effulgence, in the same way, the Jivatma makes the whole body conscious by its consciousness. The way the sun is illuminating the whole universe with its effulgence, in the same way, the Jivatma is conscious of this body by its consciousness. Another example is, in a dark room, when you light a lamp, then even though the lamp is in one place, its light is spread throughout the room. In the same way, even though the Jivatma is situated in the heart, the consciousness of the Jivatma is spread throughout the body. So two examples, lamp and sun for the Jivatma. Of course, the Jivatma is not independent. The Jivatma is not able to spread its consciousness on its own, but it needs the help of Paramatma's consciousness. Paramatma's consciousness is all-pervading. So Paramatma carries the consciousness of the Jivatma throughout the body. Jivatma is not independent in its consciousness. It needs the help of Paramatma's consciousness. Okay. And how is Paramatma's consciousness carrying Jivatma's consciousness? Anyone remembers the analogy? How is Paramatma's consciousness carrying Jivatma's consciousness? Example? No? Yes.
वायु जैसे सुगंध लेके जाती है.
हाँ, एकदम वैसा ही. Correct, Mataji. Bhargavi Mataji, what were you saying?
Yes, Mataji, same. Fragrance, carry the air.
Incense. Yes, very nice. Same. So the way the fragrance of the incense or fragrance of a flower is carried by air, in that way, Paramatma's consciousness carries Jivatma's consciousness. So this verse, as I said, is applicable to Paramatma also. Jivatma and Paramatma. What is the verse saying? The way the sun is illuminating the whole body, the whole world, Jivatma is illuminating the whole body. You can apply it to Paramatma also. Paramatma is situated in one place, but his consciousness is spread throughout. Yes? The way the sun is spreading its light throughout the universe, in the same way, Paramatma's consciousness is spread throughout the body. Okay. And Paramatma, where is Paramatma present? He is present everywhere throughout the universe. So there's Paramatma for the universe, and also there's Paramatma in every atom. Every atom has its existence and is able to remain as an atom because of the presence of Paramatma in it. That means the way the sun is illuminating this entire universe, in the same way Paramatma is making all the kshetras conscious. And not kshetras, you should say kshetris, right? The living entities. It's making all living entities conscious by spreading the consciousness. So Paramatma's consciousness is there everywhere. He is Sarva Kshetragya. By his presence, he is making all the bodies conscious. Not directly. So Paramatma is carrying the consciousness of the living entity, and the living entity is becoming conscious of the whole body. So he's spreading, he's making a particular body conscious. My body is moving now, right? Conscious means the living entity becomes conscious of the body. The body itself is not conscious. The body is always dead. But the living entity becomes conscious of the body. How? Because of Paramatma. Am I confusing you, or you are able to follow what I'm saying? Paramatma is making the living entity conscious of the body. That's the point. How? The way the sun is illuminating the whole universe. Thank you. Paramatma is making the living entity conscious. That means not one living entity, all living entities, all bodies. All bodies are conscious. How? Because of Parma. And of course, individual body is illuminated by the individual living entity. By individual living entity's consciousness, one particular body is illuminated. But this living entity is not independent. On its own, it cannot illuminate. The living entity cannot illuminate the way Paramatma is illuminating. Living entity can only spread its consciousness throughout this body with the help of Paramatma's consciousness. This is the important point. Okay. So now we come to the last verse of this chapter. Oh, did we read the purport yesterday? No, we didn't, I think. Yeah, we didn't read. Let me read the translation and purport. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. I think we read it. Yeah, I think we read this. Yeah, we'll just go to the next verse. Same thing, whatever we discussed, whatever I told you just now, that's there in the purport. Text 35. Kshetra kshetragyayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye vidur yanti te param. Kshetra kshetragyayor evam antaram jnana chakshusha. What is kshetra? The body. Who is kshetragya? The knower of the body. How many kshetragyas are there? Two. There is individual living entity and there is Paramatma. So antaram means the difference. Difference between kshetra and kshetragya. How can you see the difference between kshetra, kshetragya? Jnana chakshusha. With the eyes of knowledge, you can see the difference between kshetra and kshetragya. Remember, this last section of Bhagavad Gita, chapters 13 to 18, is Jnana Yoga. So, we are looking at the left side of the transcendental diagram. We are looking at the left side of the transcendental diagram, not the bhakti side, but the jnana side. How can one see the difference between the living entity and the body, that I am not this body, I am soul? When you do Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga is in the path of jnana. First you do Nishkama Karma Yoga, then you get Antakarna Shuddhi, then you begin Jnana Yoga. That means Jnana sadhanas, isn't it? So to see the difference between body and soul, first you have to succeed in Nishkama Karma Yoga. Is that all? No. Then you have to see not just this soul, there is actually a super soul. Actually, you have to realize super soul means Brahman. So one who is able to distinguish between the body and the knower of the body, but how does he do it? Through Jnana Chakshu. Jnana Chakshu, with the eyes of knowledge. Then, Bhuta Prakriti Moksham Cha Ye Vidur Yanti Te Param. Bhuta Prakriti. So those who see with the eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature. Bhuta Prakriti Moksham. Bhuta Prakriti means conditioned souls. The soul conditioned by Prakriti. That means living entity covered by avidya. And then so many other coverings. So one thing is, through this Jnana Chakshu, he is able to see the difference between the Kshetra and Kshetragya. And also, same with the help of Jnana Chakshu, he is able to see the process of liberation from bondage. What is the process of liberation? How the living entity can be liberated? So how that will happen? If you continue further on the left side, after Nishkama Karma Yoga, then there are Jnana sadhanas that they practice, and also they are hearing Upanishads from a Tattvadarshi Guru, and then they practice Nirbheda Jnanam. By that, ultimately, they will realize Brahman. So here it is said, with Jnana Chakshu, one who is able to see the difference between Kshetra and Kshetragya, and also the process of how the conditioned soul can be liberated from the clutches of this material energy. Bhuta Prakriti Moksham Cha. One who is able to see this, Ye Vidur Yanti Te Param. That means one who can realize this. Vidur means not just knowing theoretically, actually realizing. So therefore, theoretically, we are also studying now. But the thing is, we should be able to realize it. For realization, you have to practice that sadhana. So to see the difference between body and soul, they practice Nishkama Karma Yoga. And then to actually realize the process of liberating oneself from this material clutches, they practice the further steps of Jnana Yoga. One who is able to do that, he can only get the ultimate destination, right? He can attain Brahman, the supreme goal. Now, after reading this, I will read the purport, translation and purport. But my point is, after reading this whole chapter, especially reading this last section, what do you think? Do devotees have to practice this also? First, they have to do Nishkama Karma Yoga to find out the difference between the body and soul. And then they have to practice the Jnana sadhanas to realize the Supreme. Do you think devotees have to practice this?
No, Mataji.
Mataji.
No. Yes. This is not for us. This is for the Jnana yogis. We are not going on the left side. Ours is the right side. However, we should know everything. This is not for practicing. This is for knowledge. You are understanding what is that path, how that works. This is not for us to practice. Nishkama karma yoga, jnana sadhanas, and realizing the supreme, first seeing that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit. So this is not our practice. Our practice is right side. First, we have to get dridha shraddha, firm faith in bhakti in Krishna. For that also, what do? We hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. We hear the glories of Krishna. We understand the philosophy of bhakti, the glories of bhakti, the glories of Krishna. We hear from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. By that we get a firm faith that if I surrender to Krishna, how great is Krishna? If I surrender to Krishna, Krishna can protect me, he can take care of me. I don't need anything else. We should get that type of faith. Nobody else can protect me. Nobody else can save me. Not my health insurance, not my family, not my government. But Krishna is my only protector under all circumstances. Not even protector, actually. Of course, that is also a sign of surrender. Avashya rakhibe Krishna. Krishna will protect me at all times. That is a sign of surrender. And he is my only maintainer. I don't depend on anyone else. This type of faith, this surrender is a sign of dridha shraddha. We want that dridha shraddha. So we work for that. For that we hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. And so that we can get that dridha shraddha to keep ourselves in the mode of goodness, we follow simplified work as given in Shastra, Daiva Varnashram Dharma, with the goal of pure devotional service. But these Jnana sadhanas and Nishkama Karma Yoga, it's not our practice. So you should be clear about that. It's not for us to practice. It is to know, right? We should know. So now we will read translation and purport. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between body and the knower of the body. Body and knower of the body. That means body and soul. How they are seeing with eyes of knowledge. Eyes of knowledge means jnana. When you say jnana, jnana means tvam padartha jnana, tat padartha jnana, aikya jnana. This is what jnana means. So when you're seeing with the eyes of jnana means not that you're reading books and with that knowledge you're seeing. No. Jnana means the realization that you get by practicing sadhana. Tvam padartha jnana you will get by doing Nishkama Karma Yoga. You all know what is Nishkama Karma Yoga. You do your particular karma according to your nature and you do that karma without attachment to the result of that karma, tolerating all reversals, pains and pleasures, everything, tolerating but not giving up your karma and without expecting the results. And when the results come, offer all the results to the Lord with detachment. This is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Not easy. But when one succeeds in Nishkama Karma Yoga, then he gets this Tvam Padartha Jnana. What is that Tvam Padartha Jnana? I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. This is Jnana Chakshu. With Jnana, you're able to see. So Jnana doesn't mean just studying and memorizing and that with that you're able to see. No. You're realizing it. That is Jnana Chakshu. Okay. So to those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature. So how you'll be liberated from bondage. So now avidya is removed, then vidya also has to be removed eventually. So one who knows that process, and that means he practices that process and he achieves success. Then he attains to the supreme goal, purport. The purport of this 13th chapter is that one should know the distinction between the body, the owner of the body, and the super soul. One should recognize the process of liberation as described in verses 8 through 12. So those are the jnana sadhanas. Amanitvam, madambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, raja, that one. So after Nishkama Karma Yoga, you're practicing those, right? So that is the process of liberation. Then one can go on to the supreme destination. What is supreme destination in Jnana Yoga? You go and merge into Brahman, like that. A faithful person should at first have some good association to hear of God and thus gradually become enlightened. If one accepts a spiritual master, one can learn to distinguish between matter and spirit, and that becomes the stepping stone for further spiritual realization. A spiritual master, by various instructions, teaches his students to get free from the material concept of life. For instance, in Bhagavad Gita, we find Krishna instructing Arjun to free him from materialistic considerations. What is the point here? Faith is required in all processes. It's not that when we say Drida Shraddha, that is required only in bhakti. Shraddha is required for jnana also. Shraddha is required for karma also. Can you do any karma without having faith in the result of that karma or in that particular karma? You cannot do. Shraddha is required in all paths. But the beauty of bhakti is you need only Shraddha. You don't need anything else in bhakti. Even if your heart has attachments or impurities, no problem. If you have Shraddha, it is enough. Shraddha matram. Only Shraddha is sufficient. But in other paths, you need Shraddha and then you also need Antakarna Shuddhi for Jnana. Like that. So, a faithful person, how you'll get faith? Faith you will get from a person who has that faith. A sadhu, right? You have to get faith. Initial faith you'll get from a sadhu. So a faithful person should at first have some good association to hear of God and thus gradually become enlightened. So whether you take left side or right side, first you meet a sadhu and the sadhu will enlighten you, right? And then you'll get some faith in that particular process. Even for Jnana Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, you need a sadhu's association. You need a guru who will guide you, certainly. Then by his instructions. And when you sincerely follow the instructions, then you'll start progressing. So the stepping stone is what? First of all, he will teach you how to distinguish between matter and spirit. This is Jnana Yoga path. In the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, which is dealing with Nishkama Karma Yoga is also the initial stages of Jnana Yoga only. How does Krishna start? He starts with 2nd chapter, distinguishing between soul and ashocyananva shochastvam pragya vadamsha bhashase. Isn't it? So, he starts with natvevaham jatuna samnatvam neme janat. All these verses in the 2nd chapter are distinguishing between the body and soul. Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga means it's the stepping stone for Jnana Yoga. It starts with distinguishing between body and soul. Like that. So the spiritual master starts with distinguishing between matter and spirit. Yes. One can understand that this body is matter. It can be analyzed with its 24 elements. The body is the gross manifestation and the subtle manifestation is the mind and psychological effects. So you have sthula sharira and sukshma sharira, gross body and subtle body. And the symptoms of life are the interaction of these features. So in the beginning of this chapter, Krishna explained what is kshetra. 6-7 verses. Details he said. Kshetra means it contains senses. It contains, there is gross body. Then you have subtle body and you have interactions. All this together is called kshetra or the body. Symptoms of life are the interactions of these features. But over and above this, there is the soul. And there is also the super soul. The soul and super soul are two. This is another thing. So those who are Brahmavadis, they won't see soul, super soul. They only see one. They don't see there's two inside, 2 kshetragyas. They see only one. Actually, there is 2. This material world is working. I don't know about Brahmavadis, but Mayavadis. Yes, Mayavadis certainly. They see only the soul. This material world is working by the conjunction of the soul and the 24 material elements. Yes, this verse also came in this chapter, if you remember. Whatever you see in this world, any form, living form that you're seeing, it is the combination of two energies, external energy and marginal energy, kshetra and kshetragya. So it is working by the conjunction of the soul and the 24 material elements. One who can see the constitution of the material manifestation as this combination of soul and material elements, and can also see the situation of the supreme soul. So one who is able to see all three, the constitution of the body, the presence of the soul, and above these two, the presence of super soul. One who is able to see this becomes eligible for transfer to the spiritual world. So he is able to see means jnana chakshu. By that sadhana, he is able to realize it. Then he can transfer to the spiritual world. That means he'll go to Brahman. These things are meant for contemplation and for realization. And one should have a complete understanding of this chapter with the help of the spiritual master. So even devotees, we should understand. We should understand what is this process, how one progresses in this process. But it is not for practicing for us. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. So we completed the 13th chapter. We kind of went zigzag. I think we did the 18th chapter, 15, 16, 17, maybe 18. But there's no harm. We can go over the remaining chapters once again. What do you think? It's okay? So after 13, we'll do 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 again. Because Jnana Yoga is... and then we can go to the middle section, maybe. Bhagavad Gita's middle section, we can do after this. Okay? Thank you all so much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Ki Jai.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.